What if I told you I have an easy method to save time on mixing, mastering, and finally enjoy making music again, without it sounding like crap? Some people like to tweak sounds by 0.1 dB and use hundreds of plugins and they swear they hear the difference, but people don't care. Really, people don't give a f unless you have your levels right. So it all starts with your master channel with a clipper or limiter on. You can use free, paid or stock ones, but don't you dare using stock Ableton's limiter. Download free creative extensions pack from Ableton's website and use this one instead. The whole point of mastering into limiter is that if I will turn it off and then tweak sounds here, seems like every possible combination with kick or bass, louder, quieter is okay. But once I turn it on, you can already hear overcompressing and a little bit of distortion. Long story short, with limiter on, you will save time on tweaking levels in mastering and the whole mastering process in general. So to level things right, you need to loop the loudest part of your song. In my case, it's gonna be this drop. Then go to mixer and solo the loudest sound, which is usually a kick. With a kick in solo, watch the meter. You should have it peak at -6. Why -6? If you're gonna have your kick at 0 dB and you're gonna start mixing in other elements, like let's just switch on the snare for a bit, and then maybe bass. My master is already peaking close to 0 dB, but if I will have kick at -6, once I will start to mix in other elements, I will get a healthy amount of headroom on my master at around -3. I will show you how it works later in the video, as well as a little hack how to have it set once you start the session. Ableton Live literally tells you how to mix. I know that all my Logic, Pro Tools and FL Studio users gonna hate me for that, but I don't care. See those ranges? -6, -12, -18, and so on. All you got to do is to move down in those. So since snares should hit nearly as loud as kick, let's mix it in within this range. Seems fine for now. And then move to bass. Once again, everything within range between -6 and -12. If you have bass like this one, which has more harmonics and more mid-range, you should actually make it even lower. And that's all due to perceived loudness and Fletcher-Munson curve. If you want to know more about it, then click the like button below so I can make a video for nerds like me and you. Now let's work on this lead, and we actually need to move down to -12 to -18 range and mix it in. Then we can maybe work on perks, which are also gonna be in this range or even quieter. Yeah, I will make those rides even lower, which is gonna be between -18 and -24. Sounds fine and okay to me, but I totally forgot I have another lead here. What an ear-piercing experience. So move it lower. Within -12 to -18 range, obviously. Sounds fine. And then I have another bass, which I'm gonna just bring down to taste. And I guess there was another bass step here. And listen, I'm not saying you should stick to some magic numbers like those shitty charts online. You still need to use your ears, creative decision, and your own vibe, as I do here, but those ranges will keep you in correct brackets. Right, so as I said before, with levels set like that, I now have a headroom of -3, and then once I will engage limiter here, I can drive it even more. without distortion and all that weird stuff. So I promised you a trick for even easier leveling once you start new session. If you're gonna use this method to mix your tracks, there's gonna be a pattern, especially if you use the same set of drums, 808s, and work in the same genre all the time. So pick the mix you made with this method, which actually sounds good, and then write down the amounts of dB you turned down the main elements, like for example kick, bass, main lead, chords, and so on. Now open new live set default tracks for kick, bass, chords, and so on. Use utility tool and set those values for the gain knob. And then all you get to do is to save it as your default template. So after leveling, I got good and bad news for you. Good is that we made it close to just a couple of tweaks in mixing. But the bad news are... it highly depends on sound selection. If I would randomly choose sounds and layers, it will take whole eternity to use proper EQ settings, compress and saturate those to make them sound closer to what I have here. And to be completely honest with you, learning proper sound selection is way harder than leveling or even mixing. But once you hit the subscribe button, it magically unlocks the skill. With a future video, if there's gonna be enough clicks. While you're waiting for that sound selection video, watch this one next to unlock inspiration. How long I need to stay here to make them click?